Hello, and welcome to Wolfie Recaps. Today, I will describe Soldier Boy, a film based on the true story of the youngest soldier of World War II. There are spoilers ahead. Watch out and have fun. The film starts in Russia, where a family of 3 is having fun by the river. Sergei Aleshkov, the youngest, brags to his older brother and mother that he is on top of a tree. At that moment, German fighter planes fly over. The mother tells her children to quickly hide in the bushes, but the 6-year-old says he's not scared and uses a slingshot to hit the jet. Everyone is shocked when he hits the jets and blows them up. But when he turns around, no one is there. Sergei wakes up from the dream feeling scared and calls for his mom. Then someone comes and knocks on his door. He runs toward it because he thinks it's his mother, but a neighbor woman comes running in. She tells him that his mother and brother have died and thanks God for letting him live. The boy is too young to understand what she is saying, so he wants to stay home and wait for his mother. The woman tells him that the Germans have attacked them and that he should leave. At that very moment, some soldiers came up to their house. The woman makes Sergei run out the window, but before she can join him, she is shot and killed. The 6-year-old boy is now all alone and has no family or friends. Sergei runs away from the house and looks back to see his whole neighborhood on fire. He calls for his mother but no one answers, so he runs away. He runs for a while and then finds himself in the middle of the woods. Because he is lost, the little boy starts to call for his mother to come and get him. He stays in the jungle that night. The next morning, we see him drinking water from a river as soldiers from the enemy come toward him. Sergei quickly hides in the roots of a tree because he knows they are dangerous. When a snake comes close, it scares him, but he doesn't say anything or run away. Sergei fears the soldiers more than the snake. The soldiers eat by the river and then leave. Sergei takes the food they left behind and eats it all night long. At the end of the day, though, the little boy is worn out. He hasn't had a proper meal in 2 days and has been walking with no plan. He trips and falls, but he keeps walking. On his way, he sees wild berries and eats them. Suddenly, an explosion behind him catches him off guard. The boy starts to feel dizzy and starts to think he sees someone behind him. But he stands up bravely and tells the person that he has a rifle and is not afraid. He moves forward with a limp, but he passes out after a while. 2 soldiers come up to him while he is sleeping. The scene changes to Commander Kutzenov waiting for his patrol soldiers at the Russian army base. They come in with the hurt and weak little boy. When the soldiers say they are on his side, the little boy opens up and tells them who he is. When the kid shakes hands with the commander, the soldiers laugh and tell him that he should also introduce himself. The soldiers like the little boy and put their arms around him. They force him to drink water and eat. Even the commander, who is usually very cold, looks after the child. Sergei's wounds are taken care of by a nurse named Katya, who is also attracted to his personality. The child asks her to draw a tank on his wounds because he wants to be a soldier when he grows up. Even the hurt soldiers feel better after talking to the child. Sergei is interested in the gun and batch of the commander. The commander answers all of the little boy's questions and lets him play with his honorary pistol after taking the bullets out. Sergei shows him the tank that is drawn on his stomach and brags that he is a soldier. He is getting better very quickly. Katya, a nurse, asks the commander if the boy can stay with the battalion. He says no, saying that it won't be safe. Instead, he wants to send Sergei to an orphanage. All of the soldiers' free time was spent with Sergei. He gets a lot of visitors throughout the day. They bring him food that their families far away have sent and even let him play with their binoculars. One day, the soldier goes to the commander to ask him to let the boy stay with the battalion. The soldiers have become close to the child and now think of him as their own. His presence makes them feel less stressed about the war. But the commander is adamant that, for the boy's own safety, he must go to the orphanage. The next day, the enemy attacks and hurts a lot of soldiers. Sergei is picked up by a car that will take him to the orphanage. The commander tells the boy the news and gives him an honorary pistol made of wood as a gift. In return, the boy hugs him and says he is afraid for the commander's safety. The commander changes his mind when he hugs him. He asks Sergei to pretend to be his son and stay with the soldiers. That night, the soldiers go shopping for Sergei's clothes because they are so excited to have him stay with them. Sergei wakes up, and the commander gives him the clothes. He runs around in them and makes him look like a real soldier. They start calling him their little soldier boy. As the child runs around, the Germans attack the battalion from the air. The soldiers quickly put Sergei somewhere safe and fight the other people. The number of soldiers who are hurt is growing quickly. Sergei wants to be useful, so he brings water to soldiers who are thirsty. Since he has a bandage over his eyes, one of them asks him to read a letter from his family. The little boy wants to help, but he doesn't know how to read. He takes the letter and starts making up what it says, saying that the soldier's cow is safe at home. When the soldier says he doesn't have a cow, the others tell him to play along with the story and laugh. He reads everyone's letters in the same way and makes them feel better. In the next scene, Katya and the commander have a conversation. The two seem to like each other, but they don't say it out loud. Later, Sergei tells the commander that he is the orderly in the battalion and starts introducing himself as one. The boy then sees that the attack has destroyed one of the soldiers' stations. The commander shows him how to show respect to the dead soldier by taking off his hat. The next day, he insists that the commander give him a job, and he is told to give the letters to each soldier. He does his job well, and he even gets the soldiers to dance for him. The next day, Sergei takes his binoculars and goes a little way from the base. He is playing with it when he sees a leg move inside a haystack. He runs back to the battalion and tells the soldiers what he saw. Even though they aren't sure, the soldiers follow the boy anyway. When they get close to the haystack, they hear that 2 German spies are hiding under it. The spies are caught, and the kid is complimented on how smart he is. That night, Sergei's adoptive papers are shown to him by the commander. He is now the child's legal father. Sergei knows that the commander likes Katya, so to show his gratitude, he takes him to tell her. But when they see her talking to another man, they think wrongly that she is interested in him. The Germans attack the base again. This time, Sergei does everything he can to help the soldiers by bringing ammunition to the soldiers on the front line. However, the soldiers on the front line tell him to go back to the shed because it is too dangerous outside. When he gets to the shed, he sees the commander and others freaking out because they can't reach the colonel by phone. Broken wires are fixed by a soldier. Sergei goes after the soldier and sees that he has been killed by his injuries. He asks the soldier who is about to die how he can fix the wires, and then he does it himself. When the connection is made again, more troops are sent. Everyone's lives are saved by the 6-year-old. Later, the commander and Katya talk by the river. Finally, the commander tells her he loves her and asks her to be Sergei's mother. Katya is thrilled, but before she can say anything, a soldier comes up to them and gives the commander a letter that says they have been sent from the base. The next day, Sergei and all the other soldiers leave for their new base. On the way, though, they run into a minefield that blows up some of their vehicles. The explosion hurts the commander and kills the orderly, who was close to Sergei. He sobs and gives the commander a hug. They take the hurt people with them as they move toward their new base. When they finally get to the other base, they meet the general, who is in charge of the commanders. He is also impressed by the kid's drive and tells the commander how lucky he is to have such a smart child. The next day, their division and the boy each get a guard's banner. When the general gives him his badge, he promises to save his country. One night, their base is attacked violently, and the commander is stuck under the ruins. Sergei cries for and tries to save his father. He tells the other soldiers to bring out the commander, which they do. The next day, Sergei goes up to an injured commander. His hands were hurt from trying to help the commander. Now, the kid is an important part of the team. He doesn't have a family with them, so he goes wherever the war takes them. The movie ends with a shot of the regiment moving to a new base. A voice in the background says that he even fought in the Battle of Stalingrad and followed the soldiers to Poland. He is now known as the world's youngest soldier, and the story of how brave he was has become a legend that everyone can hear. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help out the channel. We appreciate you watching.